Hi everyone. This video is going to be on trading the daily candle, and it's going to be about creating targets and a bias using the daily candle and using the previous daily candle as well. Okay, so on my chart, what I have is I have the NQ daily chart, I have the ES on the bottom right daily chart, and then I have the 1 hour chart. And on the 1 hour chart, I have a statistical indicator that plots the open, and then it gives me the blue box is the timeline of the entire day, and then it kind of guides and shows me the statistical averages at which the candles might move. So if I move back in time, and we'll start here, you'll see that it will plot the open for me, and then it'll show me where price wants to go. Sometimes it's really accurate, like we just saw, or sometimes it looks like this, where it doesn't reach up into this statistical average. So this is just a guideline. More than anything, it can show me, it shows me how I anticipate what's happened through Asia, what's happening through London, and then the eventual move in New York, if that's what ends up happening. You'll see this day is just straight consolidation, right? And this day, you'll see we have a move lower, and then we have a manipulation higher and distribution. So according to like an AMD cycle, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, this is a really nice depiction of the first third. And this is a tip that I was taught a while ago. When you're looking at the daily candle, any candle that you pick, you're seeing an open, and then you're seeing a move, which is a manipulation, and then you're seeing another move in the opposite direction, and then the close of the move, right? So that doesn't generally happen in the very beginning of the candle, the manipulation. In the beginning of the candle, if we're looking at all of these, you can see that at the open, Asia usually is slow, accumulates, and then usually we have some form of manipulation and then a distribution. So I could look at each one of these days, and again, it's not obvious. This is more of a consolidation day. Here we have an open, manipulation right off the bat because we had a run, but then we have during New York a manipulation higher. So the manipulation doesn't necessarily mean that we have to go up to this range, but it is a manipulation in the opposite direction to then go down. So this one, I don't really like it as much. This is pretty good. Accumulation, manipulation, distribution. This one is ideal, where you have accumulation, manipulation, distribution. So as we are moving through day to day, I'm using this tool to show me how I can prepare for the manipulation in the time frame that I trade, which is during New York. So that's watching the hourly candles with this indicator, but you don't even need this indicator. You just need to plot the open, and then you need to understand that the day is divided into thirds, okay? And that New York open happens to line up with, the beginning of the last third, and that we're looking for the move either in the morning or the afternoon, okay? But what I wanted to mainly show you in this video is how I read day to day. Oh, that was from... No. What I want to show you in this video is how I'm reading price as each candle closes. And if you've been with QA and you've watched, and if you've watched this on stream, or if you've watched in the floor, I talk about this a lot, and I'm not too sure how many people follow it, but I really do like this as a guide. And what I look for is the previous day low. I'm looking for where this candle closes, and it might be a lot better if let's try to do this day to day. We have a candle close below this low. So this low of this day ends up becoming my target. Okay. So this is a good example to start off with, because you'll see that price does not manipulate that low or hit that target. Okay. And I'm following price along here as we run through this. Okay. So this low doesn't get taken out. So my target doesn't get hit. And what am I waiting for? Why do I care about the target? Is the target something I'm using to trade to get down to? Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. In this example, where I see that price has created a swing low, swing high, and is now trading in the lower end of this range, I'm overall, this has been sort of consolidating, but we're overall still bullish. And I'm not really interested in price coming down to this low, but I'm prepared if it does, right? And so the thing that you can watch, and especially on the daily first, and then you can watch it on the hourly. But as this day was unfolding here, which is right through here, on ES, you actually get this candle close below, or not close below, it sweeps it. So this would be the only time in which, if I was looking to take a long off that low and it didn't hit it, but I saw a structural change and I saw that ES did sweep it, and saw that SMT, that would be a green light for me to go ahead and be okay with this not sweeping the low. Okay. Now, as we move forward, let's play this candle. So this candle did not close or sweep the low. So we were inside the range. But because ES did sweep and then close back inside the range, my anticipation, my next target, then moves to this high. Okay. And you can see that I've fast forwarded past the fact, right? So let's just kind of rewind again. So I'm sitting at this day and I'm saying to myself, okay, we're low in this range here. So I could see price, or I could anticipate that price is going to head back up. I now set my target at the previous day high. Okay. I'm not worried about this line anymore back here. What I want to see is when this candle opens up, the next daily candle opens up, I want to see where it opens up. And what I'm hoping, because when we talk about open high low close or open low high close, we're talking about, if we're bullish, we want to see price go down first. So if I want bullish price action, I want price to come down first, do its thing, create its session highs and lows, and then during New York, I want to see some kind of manipulation. It doesn't have to be down past here, but I want to see a manipulation lower, and then I want to see my target hit. Okay. It's never clean like that. It's not always clean like that. Sometimes it is easy to read, but sometimes there's a lot of manipulation back and forth, right? And when we go into session levels, you'll see what we're talking about. But that's generally what I'm watching for. The daily to open, I want Asia and London to create liquidity to the downside. So I want it to start marching down and creating, low resistance liquidity or PD arrays to the upside as targets. And then I want it to kind of seek that target. So you can see in this day, we had a gap up, and then we didn't have that straight manipulation lower. But at New York, it was pre-market. So I'm not sure if this was, I don't think that was a news day, but regardless, the target's a target. And if we can get into the trade prior to, we kind of want to position ourselves below the open or below midnight is what some traders try to do. So this didn't provide us an opportunity where it dipped below midnight during New York, but that's okay. Sometimes that's what we look for. And so now that this day is about to close, there we go. Now we get this crazy close with no wick, and now I don't have a target. So I'm anticipating higher prices still. So now I see that, we have that high there, which gets swept right away in Asia. And now I'm sort of seeing this 1, 2, 3 pattern, 3 candle pattern for a swing low that's formed. Now I'm just anticipating that price is now going to head up and go to relative equal highs, volume imbalance, some form of some imbalance, to then start to flip and turn around. Does it sweep the high, or does it curl to come back down to continue lower? So targets there. So as we play through here, that was a consolidation day, but we still had price close above that high. Okay. So now our new target is placed here. Okay. And we are looking at this day here, and we're hoping that we get price kind of form some kind of liquidity down lower and then manipulate and then head higher. Okay. So we get that. That's really nice through 8 and then 9. So it happens pre-market and at the open. And then you can see one last 10 o'clock move down and then to go up. So if we're dividing these into thirds, which is why sometimes I use this drawing tool, you can have your accumulation, distribution, or manipulation, and then distribution. So this is just breaking the day into thirds. Okay. So now that we have our new target, which really isn't that far away, and ends up getting hit right in Asia, and you can see it here. Price consolidates and has a slight move higher and closes above. So now we have another target higher. And what do? Similar situation where we close close to the high. Now we get a close or a manipulation of the, not manipulation, my apologies. We get a run of the high. And as we move forward, we get a couple sweeps at it, and then we get a close below. So now we finally have this close inside of the range. So all these candles have closed above, our targets have been higher. There's only one target when you close above the previous day high or close below the previous day low. So there's only one target, that would be the target previous day high or previous day low. And then you're looking for other PD arrays on the other side. So I'd be looking at this on a smaller time frame here, trying to search for where price might want to go to, aside from the previous day high. Once we get a close back inside the range, now we can give ourselves 2 targets. So I give myself this lower target, and let's just back this up again. So I give myself this target previous day low, and I also then can give myself this as a target. Okay. So if I play this day out, you see that Asia provides us with the manipulation above there, and then still in Asia forming lower lows, closing below, and we're stair stepping. So we're just getting a straight run down, which ends up taking both of our targets down. And it does so prior to and during London. And then New York does a manipulation higher back into this range here, and then moves and finishes lower. So new target, we have a close below here. This was inside the range. So now our new target is down here. And we're trading below this one, so we don't need that one anymore. So as this day opens up, now we're sitting at December 29th, and we're watching as price opens through Asia. London consolidates, and then New York has this final little manipulation here. And even another one at 11 o'clock, and then a close lower. Okay, so what happens? We don't hit that target, but this is still a target for us. Okay, so let's back that up again. So this is an inside day. We don't get a sweep of the previous day low. We get mad consolidation, manipulating one way, manipulating the other way. Okay. But we still have our main target, which is this target down here. And ignore this here. And if we're backing up and we're looking at price again, as we're following these candles, not only are we looking at the targets themselves, but we're also looking at areas in which price may want to go to. So we have these volume imbalances here and here. We could say if we're curling that we might want to eventually kind of meet us down here. So that's still my target. We're going to fast forward here through the hourly. We finally sweep that in Asia, and then through Asia, we get that move lower. London provides us with that sort of swing to move higher, and then we get that manipulation. And this would be a prime example of like, okay, we want to try to position ourselves above the daily open. Okay, and we don't, like I said before, we don't need to get to these statistical areas, but it's nice to have at least a move up above previous day before we plan on taking our short. Because even though we've already met our target, I'm still anticipating that price is going to reach down into here to provide us with more movement to the downside. And then we finish off quite low in that range, and then Friday we had this crazy day where it manipulated, two of those swing highs, two of the previous day highs, reached up into a daily fair value gap just by like a touch. And so that's this day, and you see that you have the open, you have the move higher, and then you get your manipulation and then lower. So using the daily candle, that's how I'm trying to navigate targets. Quick targets, previous day high targets, previous day low targets, and knowing when I might want to start looking for price to reverse as well. What following the daily candle has helped me with the most is to create the anticipation of where price might go. It keeps me on side of trades, especially keeping track of where the daily open is, where price travels through Asia and London, and then right before New York opens, having this idea that like we have these levels that are open, and if we're bearish and we're high in that range, then taking a short is potentially, that's the goal, to take out that liquidity from Asia and London lows, or vice versa. But watching these daily candles close and having that extra bit of confluence to say, okay, that level has closed below the previous day level, that's a check on my checklist of my daily bias. And it's really kind of helped me step back and take a look at the bigger picture and be able to stay on side of trades and not get in too early, potentially on some trades, understanding and knowing that there might be some additional liquidity that needs to get swept prior to a move happening. So the next video, we'll break down the hourly candles, and we will go through the same similar exercise. And there have been many examples over the past couple weeks of hourly candle closes and sticking with my rule and not jumping into a trade too early, because I am not convinced that price is ready to move until it takes out an hourly low, because of how everything has evolved and how the candles have closed. So we'll go over that next.